So Maria wants me to elaborate more on the difference between assistant principal and a principal. This is from a New York City perspective. We have many things in common, such as supervising teachers, doing observations, doing professional learning, supervising kids, dealing with recess, dealing with some disciplinary things. But ultimately, the big difference is I make the final decision on many things, what our instructional goals are, what we're going to focus on. I have a lot of autonomy in New York City with curriculum and how we're going to implement curriculum. I decide how. The biggest thing is, like, I'm the one who runs our budget. That's something that's very unique to New York City, where principals get to be in charge of their own budgets. We get a finite amount of money, and how I allocate that is up to me and the decisions I make in consultation with our school leadership team, but ultimately the final decision comes to me. For example, one of the reasons we're a big outlier among New York City schools, especially elementary schools, is we run a tremendous amount of after-school programs and Saturday programs, both enrichment and academic and sports. So that's something that makes us unique, but all that comes at a cost, and I have to decide whether I'm going to allocate my limited resources there or am I going to allocate it somewhere else. So that's a big difference. My APs don't really deal with budget in any way, shape, or form. And also, although I offer it to them, I can offer to them whether they want to stay and work those programs. If they don't want to do it, I can't force them to do it. So if I want those programs to run, ultimately a lot of it comes down to me staying. So it's a tremendous amount of hours that I put in each day. Since we run like 20 to 30 programs a week, we have something pretty much every day except Fridays and Sundays. So that's another big difference. And ultimately, we're also rated differently. Where I'm their rating officer, they get a rating of just either a satisfactory or unsatisfactory for the year. Where principals in New York City are rated along the Heidi scale, similar to how teachers are. I'm tied to all the student scores. Plus, I get 2 principal performance observations a year, where my superintendent or deputy superintendent will come in and spend the entire day with me visiting classrooms, looking at our data, asking me questions. So imagine like a classroom observation that goes all day. So that's also a big difference, where we're rated very differently. So that's the difference. Again, I still prefer principal. As much as I love being an AP, I like having the final decision and being the principal.